It's almost time, get your DAG hats on.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It is the DAG Show. It is a Saturday edition, December 12th, 2020. I am your host, the DAG, and I have a lot to say today about my disappointment with everything that's going on and the whole Texas thing. So we're all going to need a little bit of dashboard Jesus here, so let's get this party started with some Ken Jagman from Hope's Cadillac.
It's almost time, get your DAG.
You know, some things never change. Just always a freaking disaster. Here it is.
Na 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 na. I hear you whisper, baby, I see a smile. Tell me once again, girl, haven't heard it in a while. Prettiest picture, standing up against the wall. Say you're gonna love me, baby, through the rise and through the fall. Well, if it's good for you, it's good for me. If it's bad for you, honey, it's bad for me. We all need a reason to believe in a dashboard Jesus. Honey, a dashboard Jesus. Na 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 na. Well, tomorrow's sun brings a brand new day. That's right, baby. The dawn's really gonna show our age. Tell me your dreams, no matter how far they are. I tell you, gonna reach them, baby. Hit you right on the shooting star. Well, if it's good for you, it's good for me. If it's bad for you, honey, it's bad for me. We all need a reason to believe in a dashboard Jesus. Honey, a dashboard Jesus. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But the one who really means the most, he's really not that far. He's on the dashboard of my car, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if it's good for you, it's good for me. If it's bad for you, honey, it's bad for me. We all need a reason to believe. Give me one reason to believe. Dashboard Jesus. Ooh. Dashboard Jesus to believe. Dashboard Jesus to believe. Dashboard Jesus to believe. Dashboard Jesus to believe. Na 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 na. You're listening to DAG. It's the DAG Show, featuring DAG and some other people.
Good morning, everybody. How the heck are you? It's Saturday morning, December 12th, 2020, and boy, we have some things to talk about, and I'm going to do just that. I'm going to express some of my discontent with America, with conservatives, with Democrats. Listen, I'm trying to sit here as much as I can in the middle, bring you as much good information as I can. And, you know, there's a lot to talk about with this Texas ruling and so on, etc. I just want to point out that was Ken Jagman from Hope's Cadillac, Dashboard Jesus, his album he did, I think, around 1997. Really just a wonderful album. You can find it in a myriad of places. So if you liked what you heard, go out, find it, and support local artists and buy his record. I know it's available on eBay and, you know, anyway. So let's get back to some stuff. How do you like my backdrop? My little American flag here. I have a new backdrop coming. This is what it looks like. It's pretty cool. This is what it's going to be like. Let me take that up. That's what it's going to look like behind it. It's 8x8, and it's for taking the shows. Also, it'll be the backdrop I have behind me for the show here when it gets here. I think it's coming from Mars. I think I ordered it through Mars. Comes for it's being manufactured in sweatshops in Mars. Anyway, all kidding aside here, guys. Listen. So this Texas lawsuit got turned down by the Supreme Court, and part of it is being said that, and it's really hard to disseminate exactly what is going wrong here, or what I can't believe the Texas Attorney General filed improper paperwork, but apparently maybe he did, or he didn't, list it as the right type of motion. But this is where things are starting to get crazy for me. Now, we're starting as conservatives we're starting to seem a little hysterical, and it's starting to seem a little reminiscent of 2016 when the left, Democrats and liberals, went just a little bit crazy in regards to Trump winning the election, the tears, the this, the that. Although conservatives aren't crying and buying up all the coloring books in North America, certainly they are making a lot of issues and are pretty upset about this whole thing and seem to believe that President Donald Trump is going to stay in office. And I'm here to tell you right now today, it's not going to happen. That's right. I believe I'm that smart. I'm telling you he's not going to stay in office. Joe Biden is our next president. So what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? I mean, really, are we going to, we can't just keep beating this, I mean, I am as disappointed and disgusted with this election as anybody possibly could be. I followed it so closely, and I tried my best to collect as much information as I possibly could, and to kind of review it in a very non-biased way. I mean, Democrats have their position, conservatives have their position, and everybody's just stuck in that. I'm trying to sit in the middle, okay? And just in this, I feel like I'm in a little bowl. And if some of the smartest people in this country that we've elected, like attorney generals and things, cannot fill out paperwork properly for the Supreme Court, I really don't have a lot of faith that any of this is going to move as forward as it possibly can. Interestingly enough, I've had a lot of conversations, and I had a long conversation with Linda, and it did not end well yesterday because Linda is she says she's a moderate, but she's more of a Democrat, more of a liberal, and I'm upset that she voted for Biden and did that. And I want to address this because this is really disturbing to me. I know you Democrats were not fans of Donald Trump, and I get it. I was a fan of Obama the first term. I wasn't a fan of Obama the second term, although I wasn't a fan of Romney either. So I voted for Obama, figured, I'm already in this shithole. The incumbent wins 95% of the time. I just continued and said, let's stay on this train. If it's going to derail, it's going to derail regardless of who's steering it. So I stayed on the Obama train. And it was about 6-8 weeks into his second term where I went, this guy is just, I don't like him. I just don't like his policy. I don't like what he's doing. And I saw that Obama was driving this country to a very, very very, very large divide. He wasn't supporting the police. He wasn't supporting the Constitution. He wasn't supporting the Second Amendment. He was wavering on the First Amendment. He was, he was supporting certain things in the First Amendment, certain things he wasn't supporting in the First Amendment, as long as it fit his agenda. To go ahead and kiss the butts of all the Americans. But what's really disturbing to me here is that out of anger and frustration and people not liking Trump, the left has completely just given up on getting good information. And the media completely has covered for politicians in the last decade to a degree that I can't even wrap my head around. When stories about Dominion them testing the Dominion software and realizing that it's giving 13% more to Biden and 13 less percent, a 26% swing of votes when you put in an equal amount of votes. Why wasn't that a news story? That right there, in my personal opinion, and I'm no Supreme Court justice or a judge or a lawyer or anything, is enough to go, maybe we should look a little further into this. How hundreds of thousands of votes turn up for Biden at 3 o'clock in the morning and not a single one is for Trump? Sure. Can what we're being told be manipulated, any way we want? Yeah. So, quite frankly, I don't have any faith in the politicians from a local level all the way to a federal level. By any means, none, zero, zip, nada. I have no faith or trust in any of them anymore. I'm done. I am done trusting politicians. They're all liars. They all are self-serving. They all have agendas, and they are all out. They all have certain people and certain organizations, certain groups and businesses and so on, etc. they support, and that is their agenda. And yet they get to stay in office for, in cases of the federal government, for long periods of time, collect some of the best benefits, get the best health insurance, and get killer paychecks while we all sit here floundering on the ground trying to figure out what to do with our fucking lives and our businesses during a COVID lockdown that can't really be explained to a guy who's just all about common sense. In a common sense fashion. Okay, none of the COVID makes any sense. None of this election makes any sense. And what's more disturbing to me is how Democrats now are calling for this unity amongst all of us wonderful Americans. When for 4 years there was no unity, there was just you screaming like a bunch of crazy lunatics and doing everything you can to disrupt the presidency and the movement and forward momentum of our nation and this fine, great republic we call the United States of America. You disrupted and disturbed Democrats. You disrupted and disturbed everything, the entire foundation of this country for 4 years. Because you're pissed or you don't like the guy. I mean, come on, man. You would be hard-pressed to find a more productive president in the last 60, 70, 80 years than Donald Trump as far as pulling out red tape, and tearing up the bureaucracy in government departments that, have hindered and drained the financial resources of the American people. I am with you 100%. I wish we could live in a country where everything was just free. You wake up, you didn't have to go to work. Insurance was not an issue. You went to the hospital, you needed open heart surgery, you get it. They give you the best medical attention. You live to be 240. You want to open a business, boom, money's free here. The government's just we're never going to use natural resources again to heat our homes. We're going to have this magic thing that just pops up and it's just going to be connected to everybody's house and it's going to be free because the wind is going to provide it. All these ideas sound marvelous. They sound fantastic to me, but they're not realistic. Okay, we got wind farms all over the country that can't properly store power. We don't even know what we're going to do with the batteries. I mean, all these electric cars Elon Musk is creating, and as cool as it is, the material that's used to make batteries is just as hard to dispose of as nuclear waste. So what's going to happen? So it's funny, when we create a new idea, sometimes it becomes so big, we get so wrapped up in the idea that we forget that there are going to be repercussions of this idea that we will not know how to manage. And electric cars is a perfect example. When an electric car dies on the road, they send out a truck with a diesel engine to charge it. It's stupid. Natural resources are something that are abundant They're inexpensive by comparison to put together plants, and they're way less. A coal mine is way less expensive than taking up a million acres for wind farms and putting up $1 billion fans. When I came across the country with my brother a couple of months ago, where you go through this area of Texas, it's got to be like 35 miles of wind farms. I mean, it's just ridiculous. What can we do? They're still farming that land down there, but what is the overall repercussions of having those wind farms there? And we can't store the energy efficiently, so what is the fucking point? Really, we should go back to dams and more coal mining and fracking and all that stuff, and we can keep our costs of energy down. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. Anyway, what's really, really hurts me here, and this was in the conversation with Linda yesterday, was that a vote for Biden was a vote for late-term abortion. Like it or not, it was. It was a vote to increase taxes. He has clearly stated that he is going to repeal Donald Trump's tax plan, which the average person was getting about $5,000 a year in tax relief, so that's going to go away. There is... clearly, if you go to joebiden.com and you go to Kamala Harris, there's clearly a socialist agenda. It is inarguable. You can argue with me all you want, but it's inarguable. If you look at their policies, they're socialist policies, period. End of story. So that's what you voted for out of hate. And what socialist policies do is they remove your rights, your freedoms, and they overtax you. So this is what Democrats have voted for. And this is just the beginning. I mean, it's going to be a shit show of epic proportions, in my opinion, at some point to where everybody's going to stand up and go, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? Because through this, as they're arguing about a stimulus package, everybody needs to understand something about our country, and it's really powerful because of money. So if you want to take the money out of it, and you want to redistribute it, the country takes in about $3.5 trillion in federal income taxes from people every year. Kamala Harris is part of the squad and the whole AOC and is all for this Green New Deal, which is basically a $93 to $100 trillion deal. Where is this money going to come from? If you tax the top 2% of wealthiest companies in the country, you wouldn't even get close to that number. You would literally have to take all their profits and all their earnings that every person makes in the company and have to give it to the federal government, and you still wouldn't even get to $50 trillion. I don't understand what you people are thinking. These things sound fantastic on the outside, but they're completely preposterous. There's only 155 million working people in this country. Where is this money going to come from? Where is it going to come from? So to tax like they tried to pass this progressive tax in Illinois, like somehow they're going to tax the business is going to solve all the problems in Illinois. There's not enough money if you took all their money to solve the problems Illinois created. There is not enough money if you took all of our earnings in the country of every working American and every penny of savings every working American has to do the new Green Deal. Do you realize that? If you took every single penny that was earned and every tax dollar and every piece of savings from every American in this country, there's not enough money to make the new Green Deal happen. Period. There's not. And the more you print money, the more you devalue money. So when you just start printing money and giving it away, you are devaluing the money that already exists. Your dollar doesn't go quite as far. It's worth less than $1. And how does that work? Well, prices go up here. So that, there's lots of ways to devalue the dollar. It's just whether or not you're smart enough to figure out why it's happening. When gas goes to $4 a gallon, if you think your dollar's still worth $1, you're an idiot. You're not paying attention. When a gallon of milk goes to $8 like it is in Hawaii, you're not paying attention. So your vote for Democrats out of hate for Trump is going to lead us into the abyss, and it's probably going to cause the market, which has broken records again in spite of COVID, over 30,000 the Dow is at. It's going to make it go because nobody's going to have faith in a socialist society here in the United States as a republic. A republic doesn't want to go socialist. So you're gonna create a lot of problems where businesses are not going to want to reinvest in themselves the way they did. Now, listen, I was wrong in 1986 once, and I couldn't be wrong today, but I doubt it. I doubt it because history has proven itself that when a new president comes in, especially one that's, whose son's under indictment. Everybody's talking about Hunter Biden now, like as if this Delaware investigation just started yesterday. It started in 2018, but the media wouldn't cover it. Joe Biden is saying that he's had no ties or never talked to his son about business. It's a complete lie. Joe Biden is the one who hooked his son, Hunter Biden, up with China to begin with. And there are plenty of people out there that have worked for both Joe and Hunter Biden who said they're both lying. They're lying through their teeth. This is the guy you elected. The guy who is completely 100% lying, wants socialism, is in 100% approval of pulling a baby out of a womb, setting it on a stainless steel table and suffocating it to death is all okay with you? Because you don't like Trump? My God. What the hell has happened to this country? You people who are, in your mid-30s are the most ungrateful, ununderstanding fools that don't know your history. You need to read a book on Mussolini, on Marxism, on Hitler, and find out why your thinking is completely flawed. And conservatives, let me tell you something. Conservatives, historically, for the last 40, 50 years, have been blatantly complacent in their feeling of their positioning in government, and they have failed over and over and over again. We are in this situation, and Donald Trump has lost this election because of our sense of complacency. Because we lack the vision to work through this the same way that the left and the Democrats worked through this nonstop for 4 years. Now I'm never going to trust an election. I don't really trust any conservatives. You're no different. None of us are any different than Democrats if we're just going to go on Facebook and rip on Democrats and act a fool just like they did in 2016 and for the last 4 years. If that's what your position is going to be, you're just as stupid as they are. And if I got into a discussion and then I bowed out of it because, listen, conservatives are starting to sound very hysterical in regards to, it's not over yet. Yes, it's over. It's over. Move on. What are you going to do the next 4 years? You're going to sit here and try and fix this disaster that we're actually, as conservatives, responsible for making? You think you're going to fix it now in the last couple of days? Well, today's the 12th. They're looking for an extension to the 14th, 2 more days. What are you going to do with 2 more days? Stupid. It's over. Biden is our new president. Now what? We don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think he's going to live through the 4 years, but who knows? That's a pretty tough prediction to make. Kamala Harris, oh my God, she's a lunatic. And she hated Joe Biden. She literally stated she hated Joe Biden at one point. Now she loves Joe Biden. America, all of America, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, libertarians, independents, moderates, should be all very disappointed in themselves. We elected a man, President Obama, who drove a very strong divide in between us, who ignored authority, forgot that this was a nation of laws, who ignored the Constitution, who had a different ideology in regards to how society should be ran, and then pushed that agenda to maintain his own popularity, even though it was going to hurt the most important country in the whole world and divide the people. And that's exactly what President Obama did. Now, the division continued because you got this criminal Hillary and that whole little operation. And then you get a guy in who ran on a platform of draining the swamp and fixing everything that's broken. The federal government. Donald Trump is right about one thing. You can hate him or not. Federal government is a pile of shit, lying, no good knuckleheads that we've all elected with no term limits who sit there, collect great health insurance, great benefits, work half the year, and do it all on our dime. But Democrats elected Biden and Kamala Harris. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. Guys are crazy. This is the same group of people who went out and burned cities down. See, if you want to be popular, you tell people what they want to hear. If you want to be a good leader, you guide people through the things they don't understand and the things they don't want to hear, and you teach them to see why it's more important to look at things differently. But being a politician is just about pandering nowadays. It's like being a reporter on the news. You're not an investigator. You're not investigating anything. Do you think Tucker Carlson or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon are out investigating the stories they tell? Absolutely not. There's a team of people going, this is interesting. This will get us advertising revenue. Let's talk about this. Let's not talk about the truth. Let's not dig like the Walter Cronkites and Dan Rathers did in the past. Let's not dig and just be non-biased and say, well, wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. Why would we want to let a baby die on a table? When does a baby feel pain? Why would we want to rip them to pieces inside the womb and say that's okay at a certain point? You know, we can go to, doesn't matter. Why not just take the baby out of the womb and tear it to pieces on the stainless steel table? So you don't have to sit there and wait for it to stop breathing. This is the kind of policies and things because we're being told that your right to choose is more important. So your right to choose to be a fucking idiot is more important than anything else. Your right to be irresponsible, your right to, have sex after too much tequila, that's all okay. You have a right. You have a right to take another life. But a cop doesn't have a right to shoot a guy coming at him. He's a bad guy. We're defunding police in Chicago. Here, crime is up over 50%. Violent crime is up over 50%. Regular crime's up like 130%, like just, shoplifting and stealing cars and crap like that. I mean, it's really awful because we're defunding the police. Because we want to defund the very authority that protects us. And the very same people here in this city who are calling for the defunding of police as their neighborhoods are getting shot up and their children are being slaughtered in the streets and shot in the back of the fucking head are the very same people who call the fucking police. There should be a list. And I'm sorry, this sounds awful. But if you're on that list and you're for defunding the police and this shit-ass group Black Lives Matter, who now is all but disappeared, who's never done anything for Black lives, they've only raised money for a super PAC. But if you're on that list, the police go, oh, your kid was shot in the back of the head for no reason? Sorry, call Black Lives Matter. That's how disgusted I am with this. Why would you be entitled to the very services that you don't want to pay for? Why would you be entitled to the services that you are looking to destroy for the rest of the people that live on your street and rely on those services? How about we start taking away welfare? How about we start taking all you loser douche rockets who don't want to go to work, who don't want to bust your ass and want to live off the dime of the rest of the hard 155 million working Americans? How about we take you and put you in a fenced-in area? We'll give you a couple of pigs, some seeds, and we'll let you fucking dick beaters go ahead and figure out how you're going to survive. You can build your own society. As in fact, we'll take all the unregistered guns and throw them in there. Maybe just all blow each other's brains out, and we could be done with you to begin with. Because quite frankly, you're all making me sick to my stomach. I don't even want to go into the city and do life rides. I won't go there. I've been carjacked there once. I'm done. Fuck you guys. You're fucking animals. And you voted for this nonsense. And you voted, just like you voted for Kim Fox because she's keeping all your shitbags out of jail. Really despicable people. So my plea to conservatives is, let's get our shit together here and let's fix this for 2024. And let's stay focused. Let's not take our country. And I don't want to say that all conservatives are taking our country for granted. We're taking the process for granted, thinking that maybe we have an upper hand that we don't necessarily really have, that we had all the support. And granted, I mean, you look at Biden's rallies compared to Trump's, there's no comparison. How did this happen? Well, voter fraud is how this happened. And voter fraud's going to continue. But you know where voter fraud starts? Remember, they don't do voter fraud at the Smithsonian Institute or at the House of Representatives is not where the votes are counted. They're counted in local municipalities. So if you're not paying attention locally and on a small level with your political prowess first, you're part of the problem. You need to really be involved in your community, in the voting process, in the electoral process, in the being involved in your community is regards to who you're electing as officials. Remember, the municipalities influence the counties influence the state influences the federal government. If you're not working it up that way, it's like you're just wasting your time. You really are. So just don't vote then. Stay out of everybody else's way who's paying attention. Because you're doing it wrong. Be involved and have an understanding. Go to committee meetings. Go to city council meetings. Vote for your local mayor. Vote for your city councilman. Be involved in the people you want to see appointed. Do not appoint people simply because of their color of their skin. Appoint people because of the qualifications that they have to do the job. Appoint people in your local communities because they have integrity and they're honest and they have a track record of being both. Don't elect people and put people into office in your local community because you think Bob's got a cool body shop and he wants to play politician. Don't do that. Tell Bob, listen, Bob, I like you and I love your body shop. I want you to work on my cars. But Larry over there has 4 degrees in accounting. I want him to be the treasurer of our community. Now, this is madness. If you look at some of these people who are running for local offices, I mean, they're idiots. They're fools. It's kind of funny. I was in a business that worked with the community. And as the guard changed, which happened every, 4, 5, 6 years, and new people came in, people with no business experience, housewives and guys who were, just salesmen, all of a sudden now getting involved in the financial aspect of this organization that have no business being there, that couldn't read a balance sheet if it was done in crayon, that don't understand what a profit and loss means and how important it is to look at it and find out ways you can increase revenues or cut costs or whatever the case may be. They would not know what to do when looking at any of that information. But yet they come in and they get these positions and they destroy the very cool things that were going on already. And we see this happen time and time again. So make sure that when you're bringing new people into your community that they're qualified. Not that they're black or Hispanic or they're white. Nobody cares. Because your community wants to make sure that it's financially sound. Look at how many of these communities across the country and across our state here in Illinois are just in dire situations because the local bodies that govern them don't know what the fuck they're doing. But yet we let them stay in office. What are you doing? You should be down kicking the fucking door in, slapping the shit out of some people going, how did you do that deal on that piece of state or city property? Why did you do that? Doesn't even make any sense. Now we're screwed. You screwed the community out of another $400,000. Oh, how are you going to fix it? You're going to raise their taxes. Oh, okay, great, dummy. I mean, it's just madness. So anyway, I'm really disappointed. I'm really disgusted about it all. Anyway, I'm going to kind of wrap this up here. Listen, here's what we got coming. Don't forget, next Thursday we have the big reveal, and looking very forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking about a lot of stuff that's going on at the DAG show, and believe me, there is a lot of stuff going on at the DAG show. And then also, that's Thursday at 8 o'clock, and then Friday night at 8:30, I'm interviewing this on the sit-down. He's a very interesting guy. His name is Frank Cunningham, and I've talked about this before. I talked about this just the other day. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up. These are the two things I got going on here. These are both the things that are going on here. So the big reveal, December 17th at 8 p.m. And, oh, no, that's morning coffee. What am I doing with that? Sorry. And then Friday, I have Frank. Oh, for God's sakes. Friday, I have Frank Cunningham. Where is the Frank Cunningham thing? Where is it? That's him. There it is. Friday at 8:30, I have Frank Cunningham on, great American. It's interesting to go out and do the sit-down because, you just meet people and you hear stories that are all kind of relative to all of us. And then you find out that people who you might think are crazy or weird or just off or whatever on Facebook are actually just normal people that are struggling with normal things, or have struggled with normal things their whole lives. So that's what the sit down is all about. It's kind of like what Life Rides is about, but Life Rides is a whole bunch of people throughout a day, and sit down is just kind of a one-on-one thing with people I think are interesting. Also has some cool celebrity interviews coming up, so I'll keep you posted on them. And that's what's going on here. So listen, guys, it's time for us to just sit back and accept that Biden's going to be our president. Let's make sure that as conservatives, we do the right thing for 2024, and that we're ready to win. Let's be more involved in our local elections, and the things that seem small to us and unimportant are often the foundation of how we achieve what it is we're trying to achieve for the long term. Putting $5 away every week is how you get to, you build your savings account. So let's look at this like a savings account for the next election. We're going to do a little bit of small things each week, as opposed to just wait every 4 years and vote for one guy. Okay, let's be a little smarter about this. And let's remember that regardless, we have a choice here. And I said this early on here. It irritates me that Democrats and liberals right now are going, oh well, we need to just end the divide. And I don't know how we reconcile this whole thing. I really don't. But I do know this: each and every one of us has the opportunity to stand up and be a better person today than we were tomorrow. Each and every one of us has the ability to forgive, and each and every one of us should have the desire to keep America great. Now, it might not always be on our terms, but we should be striving for that. And one of the things that makes us great is the people. So even though we're frustrated with Democrats and Democrats are frustrated with conservatives, isn't it important that we remember that those are our brothers and sisters, our fellow Americans? And it's probably a lot more important for us to individually decide to love one another and to work towards a brighter future together. And it might be easier for us to all to see each other's side and understand it better if we take this position I'm suggesting, as opposed to just being pissed. So I've kind of come full circle on this because I'm not an angry guy. I don't like to go to bed mad. I'm forgive in 10 minutes and I'm done. I'm over it. I don't stay mad. I can't live with that anger in my heart and my soul every day, being frustrated and aggravated. I'm an emotional guy. I get freaked out if I'm feeling that way and I can't sleep. I don't want to be that person, and neither should you. The person who's a Democrat that lives next door to you, or Democrats the person who lives next to you that's a conservative, it's still your neighbor. It's still your brother. It's still your sister, whatever the case may be, whatever you call it now. this is my brother in, or whatever. I don't know what the words are, but it's important to America that we all find some balance. Okay, and I'm going to continue to try and bring it here, and I'm going to scold everybody involved, conservatives and Democrats alike. And when I'm unhappy, I'm going to let you know. It's clear I've got a big mouth. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play one more song here, and then I'll come back, and I'll say goodbye, and we'll go from there. I'm not sure which song is this. This is, we're going to find out. Oh, it's Read Me off the Darren Edwards Project album. I'll be right back here on the DAG Show.
There's a little child in the backyard hanging from a tree, and the ground never seemed to be so far away from my feet. And as the years speed by, I take a long road back, and the ground seems farther from my feet. Life's so hard to keep on track. Every time I see myself, I know what you don't say here. Writing's no longer on my wall, written all over me. I can't change the way I live. I wanna say I'll get by. Every time I go to the mirror, tells me who I am. Take me to the other side and show me someplace I can't hide. That's the way I'm going back. It's giving me a heart attack. Yeah, you gotta take off, go look and read now. Take me to the other side and show me someplace I can't hide. That's the way I'm going back. It's giving me a heart attack. Yeah, you gotta check off, go look and read now.
Okay, guys. Listen, thanks for joining me here on Saturday, December 12th, 2020. More shows to come, many more things happening here. Great concerts coming up. Got a lot of shooting going on. Got press releases going out all over the country, which is kind of fun and exciting, and a lot of interest in moi. Because I'm so pretty. That's got to be it. My new backdrop will be here pretty soon, and I'm going into the studio, finally getting all this stuff done and all this music. It's really going to be very exciting. So I just want you all to know I love you all. Look at this. There it is. I wrote it down. Actually, I didn't write that. Somebody else did. But I love you all. Thank you for paying any attention to me, giving me any of your time. Let's focus on being great Americans. Tune in to the big reveal next Thursday at 8 p.m., hosted by Dino Manzella. Friday night, 8:30 p.m. with Frank Cunningham. Going to be a great sit-down. Very interesting guy. We're going to pop a bottle of wine. We're going to talk about things and talk about his life. And you're going to find out things are it's all relative, man. We're all... I don't care what your economic status is. I'm seeing this every day shooting life rides, which also, by the way, is a show coming. So I'm very excited about it. I'm excited about all of you. In spite of the fact we didn't get our way in this election, I'm excited for America. I love each and every single American in this country, and I want to see us all be happy and live together and do well together and support one another and be here to make sure we do keep America great, that America stays a great country, and the people who don't understand it or didn't think it was to begin with hopefully can learn what a great country this is. We have an obligation as older folks, I'm 55, to teach people how great and why this country is so great. I love you all. Be good to one another. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.